All right, so today we're going to talk about multi-step equations. So how do we solve equations using distribution and then combining of like terms? So more than just our two-step equations we did last time. So as a warm-up, solve these two-step equations and then we'll talk about them. All right, so draw your line down the middle for both of these. Remember, we're going to do order of operations backwards. So we're going to start by subtracting 3 from both sides. So x over 4 comes down. 8 minus 3 is 5. And then to get rid of the 4, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. And x equals 20. Next one, same idea. We're going to do the subtraction first. So we get negative x equals negative 12. Now here, we'll redraw this a little bit. We have our negative, but remember this is the same as negative 1. So I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides so we don't have negative x, and then x will equal 12. All right, so solving equations by combining like terms. Before we start combining or moving things to one side or to the other side, you want to combine all the same terms together. Otherwise, you're going to end up doing a lot more adding and subtracting. So if we look at this first equation, these two are like terms. A note here, you cannot combine across an equal sign. So I can't combine this and this. That does not work because there's an equal sign in between. So if it's helpful, draw your line in first, and you're only going to look at things on one side to combine like terms, or on the other side. So here I can combine these two terms to get 13x. Sorry, that's a minus. So do 5x minus 8x. Make sure you include the negatives. And you'll get negative 3x minus 4 equals 11. Now there's nothing else to combine, so we can solve like normal. So add 4 to both sides. Having trouble writing today. Those will cancel. You get negative 3x equals 15. Divide by your negative 3. And x will equal negative 5. So that's that one. This next one, draw your line in again. And then we're only going to combine things to the right of our line. So we can combine this and this. So the 5 will drop down. 8 we're not doing anything with. Negative 2x plus positive 10x is going to be 8x. And now we're ready to solve. So do subtraction first. You want to get rid of that 8. We'll get negative 3 on this side equals 8x on the other side. Get rid of the 8, you want to divide. And then x will equal negative 3/8. Or you can say negative 3/8 equals x, either one. So pause the video and try these, and then we'll talk about them. All right, so draw your line down the middle, and then you want to combine like terms only on one side. You can't combine across the equal sign. So we can combine these two because they're both constant terms, and they're on the left side of our equation. The 11x is just going to drop down. Nothing changes with that. And negative 12 plus 19 will give you positive 7. It's going to equal 62. Subtract your 7 from both sides. 11x is going to equal 55. Divide by 11. X equals 5. And that is your solution. Let's do this next one. This one, there's lots of things we can combine. So look at one side first. So on this side, we can combine those together. So that will give us 22. But there's stuff on the other side too. But remember, it's only on each side. So here I can combine these things together. So 8x minus 4x gives you 4x plus 2. So again, you can't combine this 2 with anything because there's no other constant on the same side. You can only combine on the same side of the equal sign, or the same side of your line. Now I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides to get 20 equals 4x, divide by 4, and 5 equals x. Or you could switch it and say x equals 5. It doesn't really matter the order. Now we're going to solve the distribution. So same idea as solving before, but before we can do anything, we have to distribute the number in. So you're going to start by taking the 4 and distributing it to both your numbers. So you'll get 4x minus 12 equals 24. And then solve like normal. So add 12 to both sides. 4x equals 36. Divide by 4 on both sides. And x will equal 9. So the next one, same idea, distribute in. Negative 6 times negative 2, negative 12. And then negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12, equals 10. Solve from here. So we can subtract the 2 from both sides. Negative 12x will equal negative 12. Divide by negative 12. And x equals 1. And that's your solution. All right, so pause the video and try these two on your own. So you want to distribute in. 8 times 3 is going to give you 24. 8 times 2 is 16, equals 48. So you can subtract the 24 from both sides. Drop the 16x down. 48 minus 24 is 24 again. Now we're going to divide by 16. So you get x equals 24 over 16. But this is not simplified, so you want to think through what could you divide both of these by. So you could start with 2, you could start with 4, but I'm going to jump to, I can divide both by 8. And then your answer is going to be 24 divided by 8 is 3. 16 divided by 8 is 2. And you get 3 halves. All right, the second one over here is a little tricky, but you're going to start by distributing. So this 11x stays the same. We didn't do anything with that. Move it over a bit. And then the 2 times 3x gives you 6x, and then plus 2 equals 53. So now we're to combine like terms because these two are the same. So we can get 17x plus 2 equals 53. Now subtract your 2. 17x is then going to equal 51. Divide by 17 on both sides. And x equals 3. Last type, so we're solving with fractions. Here, in order to solve equations containing fractions, you need to clear the fractions, or get rid of them, by multiplying by the least common denominator. You could also go back and find like a common denominator and add like we did before, but this is a little easier. Denominator. Or this could be your LCD. So if we're looking at the first one, the denominators are 3 and 4. So the least common denominator is going to be those two numbers multiplied together. So 3 times 4 is going to give us 12. So we want to multiply everything by 12 and then distribute that in to all the top numbers. Really, it's like 12 over 1. So the bottoms are just multiplied by 1. So this will give you 2 times 12 is 24. So 24x all over 3 minus 12x all over 4 is going to equal 96. And now you can solve. So simplify first. This becomes 8x minus 3x equals 96. You can combine like terms here, right there. Draw my line in. And you'll end up getting 5x equals 96 divided by 5. X equals 96 fifths. And then check to make sure you can simplify. This one you can't, so we're just stuck with 96 fifths. All right, same idea with this one. 3 times 5 is 15, so multiply everything by 15. So you'll get 15x over 3 minus 15x over 5 equals 16 times 15, which is 240. and then simplify this down. So 15 divided by 3 is 5, so you get 5x minus 3x equals 240. Again, we can combine like terms right here, and you'll get 2x equals 240 divided by 2, and x equals 120. And there's that. I'll zoom out a bit so you can pause if you want to write anything down. Okay, so then you try it. So try these two on your own, and then we'll check. So the first step with this one, multiply everything by 10. So you get 90x over 2 plus 30 over 5 equals 30. And now you want to simplify that down. So 90 divided by 2 is 45. So you get 45x plus 6 equals 30. Subtract 6 from both sides. 45x equals 24. We're going to divide by 45 on both sides. And then we need to simplify that fraction. So here we could divide, switch colors quick, each of these by 3. And that will give you 8 over 15. All right, next one. Here, even though we have the fractions on both sides, it's going to be the exact same process. So multiply both by 14. We'll get 56x over 7 minus 42 equals 70 over 2. Now if you simplify, you get 8x minus 42 equals 35. Add your 42 to both sides. 8x equals 77, divide by 8, and then x equals 77 over 8. Again, check to make sure you can't simplify. For this one, you can't, so you just get 77 over 8. Your homework is going to be the Math Excel 2.3, so you can go out in there and check it.